All right, so percent. So hopefully you have dealt with percentages before, but the basics behind percent is we have mass percent of something is the mass of the part over the mass of the whole times 100. So we can get the percent of something, or we're also going to see that we can use the percentage of something as a conversion factor. So let's first just get comfortable with the concept of the percent. And let's do a little bit of practice of this massive part over massive whole. Okay, so I have some sugar. All right, my sample of sugar weighs 2.47 grams. In that 2.47 grams, 0.988 grams of it is carbon. So let's see what the mass percent of carbon is in sugar, right? So we have 0.988 grams of carbon in 2.47 grams of sugar times our 100% is going to give us 40% carbon. Okay, so very basic. Right now, how do we handle it in a situation like this? Sterling silver, we've got copper and silver. Our sterling silver chain has 18.5 grams of silver and 1.5 grams of copper. So we need the percent of silver. Now remember, it's mass of part over mass of whole. So in this situation, we weren't given the mass of the whole, but what we were given were the individual masses of the parts. So in order to do this, okay, we can actually figure out what that mass of the whole is. We can take our 18.5 grams of silver, okay, over 18.5 grams plus 1.5 grams, so the silver plus the copper, times our 100%. Okay, so when we do this, we are going to get 92.5%. Okay. In fact, if you want to make sure that your silver is actually genuine sterling silver, it should be stamped somewhere on it, either 92.5 or 0.925, which is just the 92.5 converted to decimal point. When I took a trip, when I was it right after I graduated high school, I was on a trip with my family, and we were about to go somewhere, and we were told by one of the people hosting this trip that as we went shopping, to be very, aware of what we were buying and to make sure we were getting something genuine. And if somebody tried to sell us something that was silver and it wasn't stamped with the 0.925, it was not actually sterling silver. So all sterling silver is supposed to be stamped with that 0.925. Okay. All right, now, how do we utilize percent as a conversion factor? So again, what we understand about percent is it's mass of part over mass of whole times 100. So when I have a sample of something, if I know the percentages, what should the percentages add up to? They should add up to 100%. So if I have a whole sample, I should have 100%. So what I can do is I can think about, well, 100%, well, what if I just have 100 of something? So what I can do is if I know something like 11.2% hydrogen or 88.8% oxygen, what I can say is my 11.2% hydrogen means I have 11.2 grams. Okay, well, that was weird. I can do it on a blank sheet. Okay, 11.2% hydrogen means I have 11.2 grams of hydrogen for every 100 grams of my sample. Okay, we're talking about water, so water is H2O. Okay, it's same thing with oxygen. 88.8% oxygen means I have 88.8 grams of oxygen for every 100 grams of my compound. Okay, so I can use percent as a conversion factor if I say, well, out of 100, because 88.8 over 100 gives me my 88.8%. Okay, so the question was asking us, what is the mass of water containing 15 grams of oxygen? Okay, so what I can do is I can say I have 15.0 grams of oxygen. And now what I need to cancel out is grams of oxygen. So if I use this conversion factor up here, this tells me I can put 100 grams of water on top and 88.8 grams of oxygen on the bottom. And what I get is 16.89. Okay, I have three significant figures, so I'll cut it there. So I have 16.9 grams of water, which makes sense because if water is only 88.8 grams of oxygen for every 100 grams of water, or 88.8% oxygen, it stands to reason that the sample of water needs to be larger than just the amount of oxygen. So we can use percent as a conversion factor.